the designs here. Okay. Are your safety practices costing your business too much? Do you find like you're saying, okay, I have to be spending this amount of money? It looks so much when it comes to the whole safety section of my business, adhering to guidelines, adhering to rules, setting up certain key insurance that's mandatory. Is it costing your business too much? In this video, this is what we are diving into for the next few minutes. I am Kersha Campbell. I do help everyday business owners like yourself in the construction world, the trades, the contractors, helping you to say goodbye to the frustration and overwhelm that you feel about the financial operations of your business, the financial side, the cash flow, the bank overdrafts, keeping your books together. It's so overwhelming. You can't be, it's just too much. So I spearhead a growth oriented firm where we connect with you as business owners, entrepreneurs, CEOs to ensure that all that is taken care of for you and you are not overwhelmed and having sleepless nights in this area of your business. What are your safety practices like in your business? Is it costing you too much? And I will quickly say that when it comes to safety, I strongly believe that it's never too much when it comes to safeguarding the life of another human. So I definitely don't support where it's going to be like you're shortcutting certain rules, regulations to save on money at the cost of somebody else's life. I definitely don't support that, because when you think of it, a life is priceless, and lives are connected to other lives, other families, friends. So, there should never be a drive or a choice where you're like, okay, I won't do this because I want to save my company money, my business money, and then a team member is then exposed and at risk. No. So look at yours. How often do you even review your safety practices? That's one thing I wanted to talk about. It is very important that when you think about your safety practices, you are being current in terms of rules, regulations. They change, especially now with COVID. There are additional rules and requirements, and they change, right? So what was being required last year, their changes and their ongoing changes. So it is important that as a business owner and entrepreneur CEO, you are kept abreast of these changes and implementing the required changes quickly as needed in your business. And what a lot of companies do, they do ensure that they have somebody designated to the whole safety area. And of course, depending on where you're at in your business, you might be the one doing it, and that's fine. But it is very important to keep abreast of the safety changes. If you're not keeping abreast of changes in rules, regulation when it comes to safety, then you're at a risk of having to pay for it later, and it's going to be costing you. Another thing is, how are you implementing the safety requirements in your business? For example, with COVID now, there are requirements in terms of social distancing. There are requirements in terms of the number of persons who can be in a certain area. This is something that you need to be thinking about as a business owner and entrepreneur CEO, especially when you're thinking about scheduling persons for projects, right? And this definitely will be impacting your costs. So if you're not doing that and you are scheduling too many persons too little, it will be impacting your bottom line. It's going to be impacting your cost as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a CEO again. Another thing is that, and it might seem like really, but yeah, when you think about it, one of the requirements now is that persons are tested for COVID before they start their shift. So when are you conducting that test? Are you conducting that test when they report to your office or when they get on the site? It's better to have it done when they, before they leave your office. I know some persons, they team member reports to the main office first, and then they go out to the project or to the site for the day. It's good to conduct that test before so you are aware of what is happening, right? So it's not a case where you think all is well, they go to the site, then they have a fever or something, and then the whole plan for the day is disrupted. It's easier and, you know, better flow when you know before what is happening so they're tested when they report to head office, if that's a setup in your business as well. So your safety practices will impact how you're scheduling your team. It's going to impact your plans for labor, your labor costs. It's going to impact so many areas. So it is important that you are ensuring that the practices that you have in your business as it relates to safety are not costing your business. And costs, I'm not only talking about the money that you're paying, but the fact that you did not do something, then of course it's going to end up paying costing you more. You're going to have to be paying again later on. So you don't want to be doing that. You want to be ensuring that you are being kept aware of all the changes. Another thing is, it's one thing to know what the safety rules, the regulations are. However, are they being obeyed? Are they being adhered to by members of your team, by your workers? That again is very important. You know, there are cases where a person sometimes being pressed for time, okay, I won't wear this gear or I'll just do this quickly. And just that one time can be the time where a mishap happens, and then there is, you know, damage, physical damage, emotional as well, financial damage because of not obeying the safety rules and regulations. So ensure that it's a constant conversation you have with your team that, you know, safety is always a priority. It's more important to be safe and adhere to the rules, the guidelines, than wanting to complete this task quickly, right? Help them daily, daily, daily. It's going to take constant working on their minds that you you don't shortcut. It's never worth it. And you, as a business owner, the entrepreneur, the CEO, needs to be sold on that because it's important that you lead by example. So you need to be showing that, okay, I'm wearing my gear. Safety is never something that we compromise on, you know, in our business, in our company. We're never ever going to compromise on that because lives are more important, right? So definitely lead by example as well. Make sure that you are adhering to the rules, you're wearing the gear, you're following the guidelines as an example, right? Because as a leader, eyes are on you. So it's always going to be important that they are, you know, being committed to seeing what you're doing and they can see that you are following the rules and regulations. You're adhering to the guidelines as they change and as they're enforced as well. So safety is a huge part of your business operation. It's so important. It impacts lives, living beings. So it is very, very important that you have that safety culture in your business where one, you are ensuring you are following the rules and guidelines. Safety is, you know, being enforced, and your workers, your team members are seeing that, okay, there is no compromise when it comes to safety, that, you know, we never compromise. Safety is always first. Lives are more important than getting the project done on time, and we don't shortcut. We're not going to take shortcuts. We want to ensure that, you know, we are obeying the rules and we are following the guidelines all the time. It's never worth it, right? It's just too risky when you think of shortcutting and then a life is lost. It's just not worth it. Our damage is done, you know, physical damage, emotional damage as well. So remember that it's important to keep abreast of changes that are required, especially this year. We still have COVID around. That's one of the key trends that has been mentioned when it comes to the construction industry. They are going to be, COVID is going to be around. So constantly there's going to have to be changes in terms of plans for scheduling. You have to ensure that your social distancing, key gear is worn on the work sites and all that. So ensure that you are constantly kept abreast of these changes and definitely obey them, right? And cost. It might cost you a bit more in terms of getting the gear, and might take a little longer to complete projects based on certain restrictions. However, when it comes to safety, there should never be like a second thought about compromising at the risk of somebody else's life. So, signing off, this is Kersha Campbell, your cash flow maven, passionate about helping business owners say goodbye to frustration, overwhelm about the financial situation of their business, and just ultimately building businesses which are cash positive and recession proof. Bye, guys.